Yep, I've seen the same thing where people are saying just wait and see, everything will be fine. The screw has been tightened and tightened and
Mm.
tightened, and it's not going to. And it's a gradual thing where it'll get tightened, loosened a little bit, but then tightened a bit more, and it's now more. There's that great analogy from Star Trek where the Klingons have to decloak, before they fire, right? And we're seeing the decloaking of this giant panopticon system that has been built um, around us for most of our lives and before that, without us ever really realizing that this giant. I mean, who isn't it genius? I mean, who would have thought that our houses were going to be our prisons? There's glimmers of light here and there, but society in general is like somebody. There's a local Facebook page for the region that I'm in, and I checked out today. It's a picture of these bins for dog shit, right?
Yeah,
Completely overflowing
yeah,
because uh, because theoretically because the council haven't come and taken, because the council are not fucking cleaning out the bins anymore,
yeah.
right?
Oh,
And people are writing under that, what you expect? There's a pandemic. They'll find they just the
yeah.
if the government fucking marched people out of their homes and put bullets in their heads, people would say, what do you expect? There's a
It's a
pandemic.
pandemic. I know, I know.
Well,
Uh,
let me give you. I just had this flash, right? Because I looked out the window here, and I can see a lovely beach. I can see a forest. I can see the hills beyond that. I'm sort of looking east, and I can see 20, 30 giant white windmills. Okay,
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, right? The
yeah, yeah.
windmills. Okay, yeah. People think that the windmills are are practical and useful and functional for this region. Even this windy region does not have, and because sometimes there's no wind, and then you have to use power from the grid to actually move them and turn them on, and that power has to come from somewhere else. It's just completely insane. And and people, and basically the wind power whole movement through Scotland was just basically so that landowners could get like millions and millions of pounds worth of grants from the European Union. It was a fucking trick, because people think, oh, giant windmills must actually be providing some energy, but they're fucking not. It's Look, the people who got away with everything are did if the criminal is not punished for the crime, they do more, right? I mean,
Mm.
it's sort of in the sort of mindset of the criminal. It's like, oh, I didn't get caught for that. I wonder what I can do next. Oh, I didn't get caught for that. I wonder what I can do next. And the result is, it started off, I don't know, at one point in time in history with, oh, how do I control this village? How do I control this town? How do I control this city? How do I control this region? How do I control this country? It's now, how do I control this planet? Right? And it's a natural progression in criminal activity. And um, it's going to be very hard to fight against it. This is no joke. I'm advising everyone I know that can to leave this country, but nobody will, right? Because people are people, and I respect that. Um, and then the question is, well, where do I go? And my point is, it doesn't matter. Go and have an experience living for a couple of years somewhere else, and then come back here and tell me everything is okay. All the stuff we've had recently of VE Day and D-Day commemorances. Is it not the fucking statues of Churchill and other leaders in history getting pulled down? Isn't it like we were celebrating VE Day whilst locked down? We were celebrating victory in Europe whilst we were locked inside of our own homes. I mean,
Mm.
if that doesn't trigger people to wake up, mate. Nothing is, right?
Right.
Uh, I think part of the solution comes in disconnecting. This is crazy, but disconnecting from everything. Yeah, and that it's in my experience of life. I think everything is possible. I don't think there's any limitations. I've said in this conversation that I think things are heading one way and that's it. And I think a lot of people want that to happen. And I think that's the way the train is going at the moment. I don't think tomorrow is written. A lot of my writing is about that principle. And I understand what you're saying about the metaphysical. That for me translates into the sort of the light and the darkness within everybody. And I think that's a question that that does need to be addressed. And I think like here's the example. Like if me or you went to some desert island and stayed there for 3 months and didn't have contact with anyone else, didn't have an internet connection, didn't whatever, I'm pretty sure that we could not return to society.
I think it'd be very difficult. Yeah, I agree.
Because it's so fucking insane now, and we've been encouraged to normalize the insanity of it, but it's just look. And I explain it to my clients like this, and I talk about this with my clients. I said, look, if somebody is running naked up and down the street, people look at them and go, well, a bit loopy, bit probably lost their mind, right? But if somebody is running naked up and down the street and they're paid £500 to do it, people will go like, oh, they're paid £500 to do it. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's completely insane. And that's the basis of the world that we live in right now.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, I'm seriously looking at the completely disconnecting for 2 to 3 months from everything. I don't know if I can do it or want to do it or I'm able to do it. What's up, Jez? Excuse me. Yeah?
After you finish your call,
Yeah?
can we play?
What do you want to play?
Tackle?
Okay.